Why is everyone so anxious nowadays? In today's video, I'm going to be discussing 5 of the major reasons why. Reason number 1 is poor nutrition and poor microbial or digestive health. Let's be honest, the current standard American or modern Western diet is complete garbage. It's extremely inflammatory with loads of seed oils and loads of high glycemic foods and sugar. We should not be touching these foods with a 10-foot pole, yet we're eating them day in and day out. Would you put garbage fuel inside of your car and expect it to work properly? No. So why are you doing it with your own body? Your gut is responsible for making nearly all of your feel-good chemicals. And if you're stuffing your body full of inflammatory foods, how can you expect your microbiome to be in good shape and for your gut to be able to absorb the nutrition you need and give your brain the chemicals that it needs to stay calm and live gracefully? With environmental toxins, pesticides, chronic stress, and antibiotics, things only get worse from there. We have a modern crisis on our hands with how poor our nutrition is and how poor all of our microbiomes are. It's very rare that anyone in modern society even has a microbiome that is in good shape and has been untouched by society's stressors. If you want to feel less anxiety, it can often be as simple as purchasing different groceries. So look at what it is that you're eating and have a real hard look at yourself and see whether you need to make some changes. Reason number 2 is our bodies have not evolved to handle the stress of modern life. Constantly hustling and grinding, especially in big cities, is extremely taxing and stressful on our bodies. Our bodies have not evolved to be able to handle these stressors chronically, day in and day out. The human body is amazing at being able to handle stress here and there, as long as it gets opportunity to rest. But that's not happening in the modern day. Our bodies do not know the difference between being stuck in traffic or being chased by a predator. Even driving around in a car increases your cortisol tenfold. Not to mention, modern entertainment is extremely stressful and taxing on our nervous systems. Again, our body doesn't know the difference between something that's actually life-threatening or just a modern stress, whether that be being late to work or your boss laying into you about your work performance. It's all extremely stressful. And so if you're not taking the time to get back to homeostasis, your body is going to break down and you're going to feel extremely anxious all of the time. So building out a routine that helps to mitigate your stress that you do every morning and every evening is essential if you want to feel less anxious. Or you can quit everything that you're doing, just go out and live on a farm. That's always an option too. Reason number 3 is severe attachment issues. Attachment is your ability and your beliefs around giving and receiving love. As children, we learn about attachment from our parents. But if our parents weren't around much because they were working, or there was a lot of stress and trauma in the home when you were growing up, or maybe your parents got divorced, this can severely impact your attachment in a negative way. If getting love was unreliable when you were growing up, you're going to maintain those beliefs as an adult. Almost a quarter of the people in the Western world have anxious attachment, meaning that they feel like they need to overcompensate in order to get the love that they desire. And these people maintain these beliefs and behaviors because of deep trauma from their childhood. Really, the only way to overcome anxious attachment is to surround yourself by people who love you dearly. That way you can start to chip away at your old anxious beliefs. So in a way, being anxious can really come down to not having enough love. Reason number 4 is a lack of presence or mindfulness. Westerners are so bad at being present and being mindful. But it's really just because we don't learn it when we're growing up. We don't teach it here in the West. Instead, we are too identified with our minds. Westerners are incredibly intelligent, but at the same time, we lack a lot of wisdom. We're not in touch with our bodies. We're not in touch with the present moment. We don't listen to what else is going on in our heart or in our guts. We're so identified with the mind. And because of that, Western society has become infatuated with the ego. But the ego can never be totally fulfilled. It will always ask for more. Therefore, this insatiable appetite and identification with the ego leads people down very dark paths until all of a sudden, when they're suffering tremendously, they have to wake up and realize what it is that they're doing, and they finally become self-aware. Now, don't get me wrong. In some ways, modern life is amazing. We're not constantly at war. It's very easy to get money. You can get a job. You can go to school. There's no widespread famine or widespread disease. But because we don't have these things in our lives anymore, the human ego needs to find a struggle or something to complain about. And therefore, we latch upon many modern movements that are built upon victimhood. No matter what's going on in your life, your mind and your ego are always going to be looking for things to complain about and focus on. And so it is imperative for you to disidentify with the ego in order to reduce any potential anxiety. The best way to do this is to start a regular meditation or mindfulness practice. And reason number 5 is a lack of spirituality or faith. Every single religious or spiritual tradition around the world has some sort of a mystical practice. This is because humans have universally tapped into a greater energy or meaning that cannot be explained by materialist philosophy. When we are living for a greater purpose or following our faith in God or a higher power, the fear centers in our brain shut down, and the front part of our brain, the prefrontal cortex, that's more with logic and thoughtfulness and mindfulness, turns on. And it's far easier for us to act in alignment and peace. Our brain and heart act in far greater coherence when we're living and acting out of a greater purpose or greater consciousness. Many people might feel that religion or spirituality is completely outdated, but this could not be further from the truth. If you have an inclination to find faith or spirituality, that is actually a good sign that your nervous system is healing. So don't suppress these feelings, because having a foundation of a greater power is incredibly helpful in overcoming anxiety. It makes you feel connected to something greater than yourself. In summary, many of the reasons why so many people are anxious today is because we've lost touch with much of the ancient wisdom we've known for thousands and thousands of years. Progress is essential for our society, but it's going to be crucial for us to not lose touch of all of the ancient wisdom that our ancestors have figured out. We need to maintain that wisdom in order to truly be healthy, happy, and peaceful people. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please let me know your thoughts below, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.